All right, eighth graders, we're going to work on Pearson Realize questions 1 through 5. Take a look. Okay, this is the Math Excel for School practice and problem solving, number 5. So, this one says, name the angles that are adjacent to angle R. Okay, angle R is right here, correct? So we learned when we were doing Pythagorean theorem what adjacent meant. Okay, so anything over this way would just be opposite. Okay, so adjacent would just mean focusing this way and this way. So the adjacent angles are simply just going to be SU. So that is listed as angle S. That one seems to be pretty straightforward. Let's see the next one is. Okay, so we're naming a pair of adjacent angles in this example as well. Adjacent angles in this figure. Okay, so it looks like we have NOP, POQ, QOR, of course we have NOR, and POR. Okay, so which pair is adjacent angles? Let's look at NOQ. NOQ, POR. NOQ, PO. Those two angles be adjacent to each other, or they be opposite to each other. They would be opposite to each other. Next would be NOP, NOP, okay, and PO. Have this angle, this angle. Is that adjacent? No. We have NOP and POR. So NOP, your angle would be here. POR, your angle would be here. Be adjacent? Yes, it would. That one's pretty much just an eye test type thing. You have to look at your examples. That's why multiple choice is good. You can just look at your examples and see what you're doing, and just kind of use logic. Okay, find a pair of vertical angles in the figure. So vertical angle is angles that are in the same plane, but there are two intersecting lines. Okay, so I know that sounds confusing, but let's look at it this way. So the only options you would have are JZ, RN, okay, JN, and ZR. You need to find something that's separated by how many lines? 2. All right. This one is a line going straight down, straight over. Okay, so far we have 2 lines. The third line goes this direction. So the only 2 that are only separated by 2 intersecting lines are J and N. Because if you try to do R and Z, you'd have this line, and this line. For JN, you only have this line and this line. So that's the rule. You'll read that about vertical angles. It has to have 2. Well, we can look at it right here. That's why I brought this up. Each of the pairs of opposite angles, 2 intersecting lines. Okay, intersecting lines. Boom, boom, and boom, boom. Okay? So J and N is the answer on that one. Okay, find the value of X. Okay, so if you just look at this picture, we know this angle right here is 144 degrees. Okay, that angle is exactly the same as this angle. Okay, these lines right here, they intersect, and the angles on each side are going to be exactly the same. So here you're using algebra. Okay, and let's go ahead and just do this. All right, so you're using algebra on this one. So what do we know? This is 144 degrees. This is 6x plus 30 degrees, but they're going to be the same. So the same means what? It means equal. So you're going to do 6x plus 30 equals 144. Okay? This is a normal 2-step equation that we have done all year. Let me make that smaller. Okay? So what would you do here? you follow the same steps we always do. You're going to add or subtract first. So subtract 30 from both sides. And if it helps you to read this as 6 times a number plus 30 equals 144. So we need to take that number away on both sides of the equation. Okay? So 30 minus 30 would just be 0. 144 minus 30 is what? What is 144 minus 30? So 144, 134, 124, 114. So 6x equals 114. And I don't care if you all pull out your calculator and we do 114 divided by. And that's going to give you the wrong answer. I don't know what I did weird there. 144 minus 30. Divide that by 6, and you're going to get 19. So x simply equals 19. Sorry about the weird confusion. And remember, if you ever want to check your work, you just plug 19 in here. You do 6 times 19. So that would equal what? 114. Plus 30 equals 144. That is true. So right here, this x is equal to 19. That's what I plugged in right here. That is the correct answer. So, and then finally, the fifth one. All right, so complementary angles. The measure of angle 1 is 58 degrees. The measure of angle 2 is 2x degrees. Find the value of x. Okay, so let's go ahead and capture this one so I can write some stuff. Just like that. There we go. Okay. So first we need to ask ourselves, what are complementary angles? Okay, that's something you should have read in this chapter. That's why we did this, because we need to learn about angles. Complementary angles. Okay, complementary angles. Well, let's just look at the picture. You see right here we have this little box, and we've known all year this represents a right angle. Okay, so a right angle is equal to what? 90 degrees. Okay? So if it's telling you that this angle, angle 2, and this angle, angle 1, are complementary, and angle 1 is 58 degrees, so it'd be 58 degrees right here. Okay? So that would let you know that complementary angles add up to be 90. Okay? Complementary angles just add up to be 90 degrees. So that's the first step we need to find. We know angle 1 is 58 degrees, and they're wanting to know what angle 2 is. So angle 2 is 2x. Okay? So we can set this up like an equation, or we can just use some mental math. The way I did it, the easiest way for me, is to say that you have 90 degrees. That's what you start with on a complementary angle. Subtract 58. So if you take 90 and you subtract 58, I hit the wrong button again, you're going to get 32. 32. Okay, so that's 90 minus 58. Okay, so angle 2, we know is 32 degrees, angle 2, okay? But this says angle 2 is 2x. So we know 2x is equal to 32. So they just added that extra step in there just to annoy everybody, okay? So all we have to do now is divide by 2 to find what x is, because that's what it's asking. What is x? It doesn't say what is angle 2 equal. It says what is x equal. All right, so we're going to divide this by 2. So 32 divided by 2 is just what? 16. Oh, man, that was rough. 16 degrees. Okay? That's your answer. And that's what we put right there. 16 degrees. Okay? So that's questions 1 through 5. All right, so hopefully my video sharing skills get a little better, and I don't make as many mistakes next time. But that's 1 through 5. It's not too bad, you know. Even I made some issues there with my calculator. So, but feel free if you have any questions. Go ahead and shoot me a message or something. I'll try to help you out. Just make sure you read about it. Use Google. I mean, that helps. Read about it. You can watch YouTube videos. Hopefully, this video helps a little bit. We'll do some better stuff here soon. But thank you all, and have a good night.